video, I'm going to be going over how you can create wristbands for your players. In the second video of this series, I'm going to be going over how you can cell link that wristband to make your game day call sheet. So to start, I have a basic set of runs, screens, and passes with a few tags and motions as well. There's nothing fancy here, it's a fairly small playbook, but that's okay. I don't need to make this a huge example for what I'm doing in this video. So I have found that having your run plays, your screens and passes broken up on the wristband is the easiest way for your quarterback to read it. And then with that, I tend to have each play associated with a number and then the formation with a color. And in the past, I have given all of my runs the numbers 0 through 9. My screens were in the 10s, and my passes were in the 20s. So that's how I'm going to organize this wristband. If you don't want to do it by formation, and if you just want to have a list of plays with the formation and the play name, and have 200 plays like that, and just signal in anywhere from 1 to 200, you can organize your wristband like that. But this is what I found the easiest to organize, and then also the easiest for the quarterback to easily understand the signals and to read it off the wristband as well. So to start, I need to create my format, and I have found that having 6 columns is the easiest, and because each one's associated with a number, and then each color is a formation, in every second cell, I'm going to put the formation. So I'm going to start in cell H, which means in I will go my formation, which will be trips right. K is going to also do that. And to make this easier, in case I want to change anything later, I'm going to cell link pretty much everything here. So I'm going to go equal I1, and then hit tab, move over to M, equal, and now K1. So that means if I change I, both K and M are going to change. And then in H2, I'm going to do the number 1, and then I'm going to see if I can drag that down. No, because it's only one number. But if I put in a 2 here, hit enter, highlight both 1 and 2, bring my mouse to the bottom right corner and drag that down, I'm going to get it all the way to 9, which is exactly how many run plays I have. So then I'm going to highlight all of my run plays here, copy them, and paste. I can do this because I had already organized it the way I want, with all of the odd numbers being run plays to the left, all of the even to the right. And now in cell J2 here, I'm going to start at 10 and go 10, 11, and here I don't have as many screens, so I don't need to go down as much, but I'll bring it down all the way to 18. And then here in L2, I'll start at 20, 21. Again, I don't have as many pass plays, but I'll highlight 20, 21, and bring it down all the way to 28. And because I already organized all of my plays, I'm just going to copy and paste my screens into here, and then copy and paste my passes into here. If you want to organize this or do the screens a little bit differently, that's also up to you, but it doesn't really matter as long as you can understand it, and more importantly, your quarterback and the players using the wristbands can understand it. So right now this is going to be very difficult for anybody to read. And because I associate a color with a formation when I call stuff in, I'm going to highlight the entire thing of numbers, and I'll say trips right is a light green. So I'll highlight every set of numbers that light green. And then I'm going to highlight trips right in bold. So I'm going to click in this I1 here, hit Command on the Mac to highlight all 3, and then I'm going to hit the bold button there. And because when it prints off, these little lines don't see, that's going to make it really hard for your quarterback to read if they don't have the lines. So I'm going to highlight all of this here from H1 all the way to M 10, go up to the border button and do all borders. And now your quarterback will actually have the association with the number to the word a little bit easier. And now finally, I'm going to highlight it all again. And I want everything in the middle. So middle, middle. And then that's pretty much good for my trips right. And now I can just do this again for trips left. So I'm actually going to copy this entire thing. Copy, and then bring it right underneath. Paste. And I'm just going to change the name here to trips left. And because this is still cell linked here and here, these two automatically updated for me. And now I need to change these colors. So I'm going to highlight from H11 to H20, and then do the same thing for J and L. And now I'm going to change the color to a light blue. And the best colors you can use are very drastic from each other, especially when they're on the same sheet. And green and blue are different enough. They're not the best option here, but they're good enough for what I'm doing here. And because I copied and pasted from here to here, you can see that this remained bolded and the borders remain there, which is perfect. So this is going to be on one panel of your wristband, and most wristbands have the 3 panels for it. So this might be on my front side, but this is going to be way too big. To change the size of the columns and the rows, I'm going to highlight M through H, double click, and that's going to make the numbers really, really small, which are good. And then the rows now are still way too big. They're not going to fit onto a call sheet. So I'm going to highlight 20 through 1 for the rows here. And if you get it so that you have the thick black thing with the 2 arrows on either side, and you bring it up, it's going to make your rows a lot smaller. And now that's way too small. And I'm sure there are some templates in terms of sizes that you can find, but I actually have a finished product that I had from last year, and the ideal size for me was a height of 11, which is 11 pixels, and then the columns were 4.17 or 30 pixels and 57 pixels. So a height of 11 is good enough to get 10 plays in, and I believe these are way too small right now, so I'm going to highlight them all, scroll it down to 11, and then this was 13. This can be even bigger, so I'm going to highlight 11, hit Command J, H, and get them all to 25 pixels. And then for I, K, and M, I'm going to highlight them and get them all to 53 pixels. And that is close enough to being fitting on a singular panel. And now what you can do for the other 3 is just copy and paste this to the right. The size is not going to stay the same for the columns, but the rows it will. And now I can just change this to maybe quads right. And because they're copy and pasted, those are going to change. Quads left. And this might be offset I, so I right and I left. And now all I have to do now is change the size of the columns all the way to what they are here, which is 25 pixels, sorry, 53 pixels. So I'm going to hit N and then hit Command for all of the numbers and change that to 23 pixels. So if you go on the right, bring that down all the way to 23, and then N, and then hit Command and hold Command until you're done selecting all of the plays and get that to 53 pixels. And that is how you can create a call sheet, but it's still not perfect. I am going to now just bold the top border of this trips left, quads left, and I left with a thick top border. And that actually isn't going to work. So I'm gonna just give this all a thick outside border, thick box border, and then do that again for the bottom. And now you have that nice border so your quarterback can clearly see the difference between the colors. And then when you cut it out, you just need to make sure you're cutting where you need to. So I'm gonna give a nice thick border to everything like that so you know where to cut. And then I'm gonna change these colors because they can't be the same, so I'm gonna select all of them by holding Command, and I'll make this a nice light orange, and then these ones will be a bright yellow. The eye will be a nice pink. And again, I'm just selecting one column, holding Command, and then selecting all the others. And then this will be a dark blue. Or actually, I'll make this a white. And now this one's going to be hard to read. So to change the color of the font, I'm going to select all of them here. And then change the font color to white. Sorry. Change the font color, which is this A, to white. And that's going to make it a little bit easier to read. And that's how you can get a call sheet for your wristbands that you give to your quarterback, which is broken down by formation and play type. It's not overly complicated, but it does do the job good enough. So thanks for watching this video. If you want to see how I cell link this into a call sheet, make sure you watch the second video.